we are back with another Black with No Cream podcast. New episode every single Wednesday and Sunday. I'm your host, Ben Haggerty, aka Ben Real vs. World. Today's special guest is my boy,
your boy,
B-Hags Money Bags. Replacing Dave today on the morning roast. Usually Dave's in here, but how you feeling today?
I'm feeling like a selfie.
Yes, I feel that. B-Hags Money Bags, commonly known for his active promotion for the Black with No Cream merch store.
That is correct.
Appreciate you doing that,
no problem,
bro.
Man.
That's fucking awesome.
I love this fucking mug.
I agree. That is fire. He's got the Black with No Cream mug here, available on shopbwnc.com. That is right. So pick up your merch right now. You got to get that merch. This shit is fire.
Absolutely.
Today we will be talking about the competition.
Yes.
The competition is ending tonight at 11:59 p.m. So make sure to get your submissions in. And yeah, shit's gonna be fucking off the chain.
Fuck?
Oh fuck. Hey, you gotta go. Yeah. So sorry, Dave. We thought you were in the bathroom, bro.
I was in the bathroom. I told you I'd be right back.
Attention.
If you stop this podcast recording at any time, you will die.
I don't want to die.
Do you want to live?
You have 24 hours to share this podcast with 5 people or you will die.
I'm kidding, you won't die. You're just weak shit for not sharing.
And the winner of the best motherfucking podcast goes to...
Black with No Cream.
What do you think?
It's so fucking dumb and so fucking Ben Haggerty.
I knew you would say that.
Disrespectful.
I had no idea that you went to the bathroom. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I thought that Dave had left the building, but
I thought I left the building and I was gone for like 10 minutes. And somehow some guy got in my seat.
I swear to God, right before you left, you said I'm out, and then we were both like, well, fuck, we still need to record this morning roast because tomorrow's Wednesday. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't know about that guy, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't fuck with B-Hags. Is shit. That's the boy. He's the biggest hype man too, and he loves the merch. Why? And you design the merch. He's helping sell the merch. Why don't you like that guy? He's fucking
I don't know,
classic.
man. He comes on the podcast with AirPods. Like, who does that shit?
Legends, beach bums. That boy lives at the beach. He's tight. All right, today let's talk. Before I got interrupted, we were talking about the contest, the Dutch Bros / Black with No Cream. First contest we've ever made with them, and it has been going very well. Today, if you were listening to this, is the final day to submit your content that you've been creating for the past few weeks. Dutch Bros was able to send out 300 plus. They sent, I think there was like 312 people total actually, sent out a mug and a coffee bag to each contestant for them to shoot their most epic morning coffee session. And people are submitting videos and photos right now, which has been awesome. So make sure you do it. The email is bwnc@dutchbros.com. So you can submit that way. Make sure you guys get that in by 11:59 p.m. California time, whatever coast shit that is, or mountain time, or whatever the Pacific time. Make sure you submit that motherfucker before midnight, and you'll be in the contest. So good luck. We're excited to see some of your shit. Also, we will announce the winner on the, what day? The 10th?
Yeah, the 10th.
A week from now, the next morning roast, we will announce the winner right here on the podcast. So make sure to tune in to find out who won. Maybe we'll show the video in the beginning. That'd be kind of dope. Or photo, whoever we pick. We'll highlight the members in the intro, and we will also be announcing the second contest. Yeah, that's right, motherfuckers. We got two of them bitches. Because we can't stop with just one, and Dutch Bros is too fucking tight to work with. So we're gonna be rolling out something new, something bigger, something better, with bigger and better prizes.
Facts.
So we'll announce all that on the 10th. So if you are interested in finding out what that is, you can do that. Otherwise, if you want to hear it a little bit early, we're gonna tell our Patreon people probably on Thursday about that. Or yeah, what day is today? Today's Wednesday, not Thursday. Probably this weekend. We'll be telling them because we got to line out all the
probably
details.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday we'll announce it. So if you want to get it early, which usually gets you a jump start, which I noticed that a lot of those people in Patreon took advantage of that on this contest last time. That was cool. But anyway, today's episode is about the idea of getting tagged on Instagram for clients you work with. Specifically, I think this topic of conversation could go well with the music industry, like working with artists or celebrities or whoever it may be that has a social following and you're the creator for them, right? I don't know if we've created like the official title for it, but something along the lines of like, what is it? Tagging is a social currency?
Yeah, I think that's the general premise, but then we kind of got on this topic for the idea of like photo tags not being the same as caption tags. So
Right.
all of that encompassing. I think tagging social currency is a better title though.
Well, it's always like a pain in the ass, like when you do a bunch of dope shit and you're pumped for someone to share it, and then they just like tag you on the photo in Instagram or in the video, where like someone has to click that fucking little thing that pops up to see like who's all, and there might be like 7 other people tagged to it too, so no one even knows what you did, and it's just like fuck.
Yeah, I know. And I think it's, man, it's funny because, you know, these artists or these people, they care about what the caption is, or they just want to seem like they did it themselves, or they just don't want to clutter up, so they just put it like, oh, the tag is just a way to put it somewhere that hides.
Right.
But then they don't realize that that's not the same, and it doesn't do the same for you.
Same for us.
Yeah, same for us.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's not like if the caption, you're tagged in the caption, that's gonna go way further than if you're just hidden behind. Because not to mention, like, they could have tagged 4 other people in the actual photo tag,
That's
and
what
so
I mean.
like, who shot it? People don't know. Like, they'll have to find you.
Yeah.
And only like people like me, other creators, like, I'm always thinking, like, if I see a video, I'm like, who made this?
Right.
And I'll go try and find you.
Yeah.
But that's creators. That people want to know other people, the creators. But like,
It's not
the
easy.
random fan is just like, this video's tight. But if you're tagged in the caption, people are like, oh, this video's dope, and then casual fans will go find you.
Well, and the usual thing is like photo or video by this person,
Right.
edited by you know what I mean? Like they kind of highlight what you did, what your role was in that content that was created. And then that shit spawns an even bigger reaction for people that are following, see the post right away, are interested in content, possibly like a reason. Here's the reality. If you're touring with an artist or if you're shooting a show and they post your shit, the fans of that artist are the people that are probably going to follow you first. The creators that pay attention to that artist are probably going to follow you first, but they're like also the people that there's probably less creators than there are fans. So you're probably gonna get this odd wave. And so if you're not working with that artist directly, like when I did that thing of the Jonas Brothers and they like posted on their Instagram, I got like some random Jonas Brother fans. And I'm sure they like left right away unless they were like noticed that I shot Beyonce shit, and they probably stayed. But it was cool because they tagged like drone by Ben.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
So right away, anyone that may be a Jonas Brothers fan and may be interested in camera related shit, especially drones, is like, oh fuck, what, that shit was tight. I'm gonna go, who did this shit? Then that's the trickle effect. Those are the people that you want to have come and follow you, because those are like gonna be real fans. Yeah. And to me, that's a fucking form of currency. No matter what you get paid, no matter what I got paid that night to fly that drone, I worked it in. I was like, hey, cool, yeah, I'll do this for whatever the money. I don't even remember what I got paid for that shit, because it was like last minute. Someone just hit me up. I was like, I need to get out of the house. I need to do something tonight anyway.
Sure, I'll do it.
Pulled up, and I was just like, just make sure I get tagged. And that was it. That was all I had to say, was just make sure, absolutely no problem. It was not an issue. And immediately I'm tagged, and it's like, there's two powerful, you get the check, whatever the check is, and you got a tag. Sometimes you might not get the check, you get the tag. Sometimes you might not get the tag, you get the check.
Facts.
You just have to kind of pick and choose your battles, right?
Super facts. I think, just going off that topic, yeah, that was really dope.
Thanks,
We should use
Dave.
that. I think
We should use that for what?
another thing is like, there's something about the caption tag, like, tell me if you agree with me. There's something about the caption tag that's like it's an extra layer of like a stamp of approval for some reason. A caption tag usually comes when you're like working directly with an artist, and the artist knows you and like wants to put you on,
right,
or whatever. And there's something different about that, where like it's for example, a manager or another company or whatever who sees that content, sees you got tagged, like they're like, oh, okay, this guy works for that person,
right? Versus
getting tagged in the photo. And I've gotten both a million times. I feel like that's something to mention. There's something different. But I want to ask you to turn around, just so we'll get into it. Like, what do you think for someone who wants to get tagged, like as an avenue, methods to like discuss that before they get the job,
right?
Or during, like, how do you think is the best way to go about it? How do you think, and why?
Yeah.
You could touch on that.
Before I touch on that, I just want to say, while you were saying all that, I had this idea that we should do at the end, where it ends the episode, and then I'm sitting here, and B-Hags runs in from the door and starts being like, fuck you, Dave, and you're like, fuck you, fuck you, B-Hags, and that's it. Just like a quick split, okay? We have to add that in. And I don't care if we leave this in here, so now if you're listening to this and you heard me think in real time, look forward to the end. Unless we forget. So anyway, the answer to your question, in my opinion, so if the goal would be to try to get it locked in advance, like for me with Q's tour, I made sure my pay wasn't that great on that tour, which I talk about in the fucking the guide that we just put out, but it wasn't that great. And so right away I was like, all right, cool, if it's already this shitty pay, I need to make sure that I get tagged on like the content I create, like for fucking sure. I'd already been like shooting shit with Chris Brown before, and it would go through a company and they would give them the content, and then the content would just get posted and I would never get tagged in on that shit. And I was always like, damn man, like no one has a clue I did all this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like ill ass shots that were getting hundreds of thousands of likes, all this shit. And I'm like, damn. Cause to me, the big thing is like, yo, you can truly use a following for things that can help you. Like, for instance, like if I have 400 followers and I hit up Sony, they probably won't respond to me about giving me a free camera. If I have 4 million followers, they'd probably give me all the new cameras every time they come out with them and let me become an ambassador to do all this shit, where now I no longer have to throw $3,000 into a body for a camera and all this shit. Right? You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I mean, you can, following, it's more than following. Following for sure, because in this day and age, like, you can leverage a following in so many ways.
Right.
Like at this point, if you have a following or if you have credibility, you can, like if you have the like a charisma or you're creative, you can turn that into 6 different things.
We just watched that one dude fucking make that ad, and it was the most trash ad I've ever seen for whatever that company
Old Spice.
Old Spice.
Yeah.
And it was just trash as fuck. And it was just because he had like...
But he has 490,000 followers, so he can tell the brand, hey, listen, I got this following. Like, you have distribution built in. But I think another thing too is, for example, you know, coming up, like if you're shooting shows or whatever, right? And you get, maybe you shot the show for free or for little or whatever, and you get the tag from the artist. When you go try to parlay that and go to a different person and say, hey, I shot this person, and they go to their and you send them a link to their profile of the artist profile, and it says, oh, video by this, boom.
Yeah,
that's how you start. That's a credit, because I mean,
credit.
Okay, this person shot, and like the credit is a stamp of approval. And so like if you, and like when you said it's either the check or the tag, like the credit can be a thing that you can negotiate in. I feel like, going back on my question, is like, okay, cool. If maybe you have to go lower on your rate, or maybe your rate's cool, whatever. But if you can negotiate that in as a contingency, like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm down, but can I make sure I get tagged? And they're down to like work with you. Cool. Now you just lock that in.
Yeah.
And then you're able to turn that tag. And like you were saying, when you get tagged and you're getting credit, you're able, like for you with the Q tour, when they're saying Ben Real vs. World, people are saying, oh, this guy works with Q. They start to realize that you're a credible source for content.
Because immediately the question is, when they're watching it, they're watching like the videos and the photos. Who edited this? Who shot this? I remember going on YouTube and watching like the recaps or whatever, like the tour docs that I was making. And each episode, the comments would be so crazy, and they just... a lot of them were like the fans or whatever, just loving it. But then a lot of them were like, whoever's making these videos, whatever team is making these videos, whoever's editing these videos are killing it. How many videographers are there on this tour? Like all these questions that made it sound like I was bigger than one person, which to me was like super cool. And then the only way they would ever know is if they were able to go and see on Instagram and it'd say this, and then all of a sudden that becomes like a reoccurring thing that they see, and they're like, oh shit, this is dope. And that helped me build this, Black with No Cream. You know what I mean? Like, without having been tagged in all that shit, I would have never built up the audience that I did, as far as like creators who really saw my shit and understood, oh, he's a creator, I should follow him to see what happens. Like, who knows?
Facts.
And that would have never happened. But like, if I would have just been like cool with whatever and just didn't do it, I'm doing all this content for nothing, like not for nothing. Like you could still make moves on the back end. Like on B's tour, she doesn't post anything but the image or but the video on her IG. She doesn't make she just started making captions at the end and like all that stuff, but like she never did. So there was no tagging any of us. There's like a bunch of us creating content. No one ever got tagged. Would have been dope, but that never happened. But they did tag, or not tag, but they give like credit to our names on the website. All the same shit would go on the website. So if you went there, you could find it. So a lot of those fans started finding us through that by looking up the names and doing all this shit. So as long as our funnel process was fire. But like, that was a different form of benefiting, because it wasn't really, to me, it didn't matter. It would have been dope, but it didn't matter.
At that point, it does not matter at all, because you have the content that no one else has. So it's obvious. And you're able to parlay that 100%.
Cash Bunny. She just talked about her new video that she did. Her and Ari did a video for Will Smith, and Will Smith shouted them out, and he posted the footage clip that they made. You should check it out. It's like, it's basically a 360 camera, and it's like Will and Jada, and it's a bunch of versions of them. It's really dope. Will posted on his Instagram and literally shouted out Cash and Ari and was like, yo, these creators are sick, to the point where now she's getting hit up with so much job opportunities. Like, everyone's hitting her, probably big and small. I need you to do this for me. I need you to do this for me, because she got the tag.
And that's off the tag, bro.
That's off the tag.
Like, if she's been creating ill shit. Her profile is sick, and that's another thing. She got tagged, and they come to her page and they realize like, oh, she's dope.
Yeah,
you know
she
what I mean?
got fire shit.
But imagine if they post that video and they didn't tag her. Right. Like, or all these people that follow Will Smith that think his content is dope, thinking like, Will Smith works with this girl. Like, that's a stamp of approval, and he tagged her. Like, she must be really good, and then she's getting flooded with offers that she wasn't getting before.
But I think to answer your question, it was like, so before like Q's tour, that's what I asked for, right?
Right.
There was a time on the tour where like Khaled hit me and was like, yo, I know you have this footage or whatever. Can you send me it? And I was like, oh yeah, I got you. And then when I sent it to him, I was like, yo, just if you post it, will you just tag me in the caption?
Yeah,
I literally said
will you please tag me? Or like, you didn't say please,
I said,
you said
I just
it like
told him.
nicely,
I said, yo, if you do it, please put me in the caption. Like, you should know this is what happens. And he fucking did. And out of nowhere, I had like 6,000 new followers. Yeah. Literally, I've never seen anything like happen that quick like that. I was like, God damn, what the fuck? But that's just because I said like, yeah, here, I'll give it to you. Also, will you do this? I didn't hold a blackmail. I didn't charge him money. I didn't do any of that shit. It was just like, here you go. You post it. That's dope. Either way, I appreciate you liking my shit. But like, do this, please.
I think it's still, you know, it's still... This we're talking about. This is something that you should go chase regardless. Like, it's not always gonna work out. You know what I mean? Like, not every artist is gonna be down for whatever reason. Yeah, that's part of it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, we're not saying like blackmail them to fucking or to tag you or hold the content or, you know, be mean or whatever.
But even Gibson with who the fuck was he shooting for? He was making all those dope Lil Pump. He was on tour with him making ill videos. They're getting millions of views, and Pump wouldn't tag. And I'm like, yo, what's up with that? He's like, dude, he's just never tagged people on his. That's like not his thing. I'm like feeling so frustrated for him because I'm like, fuck, like that's just crazy.
And he was like the most cracking artist at that time.
Yeah, but he was posting shit, tagging Gucci, whatever it would be, and he just isn't tagging this creator that's doing the illest shit for him on the road.
Right.
I'm like, man, come on, like you're getting 5 million plays on an Instagram video before that was common. Like, that's crazy. And then if he was able to get that shit, it's the same thing. It's like, because tour rates are just not great for a lot of people. I hear a lot of people that tour all the time telling me how shitty the rates are. I've been there. You know what I mean? Like,
I wonder if he got tagged on that Nike thing.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting to go check. Yes,
but even if he did, it doesn't matter because Nike probably ain't got.
No, but he definitely got the Nike bag from it. So
no, he definitely he probably doesn't give a fuck about, because that's different when you start doing a real campaign. That's why working for brands is so fire.
Right, because they're not going to tag you in the caption, but you got that.
And they might though.
But the pay definitely makes up for that.
Yeah,
and no one else, like if you post the commercial, like no one else shot it. You shot it. You know what I mean?
But unless you're like making constant Nike content, you know what I mean? Like no one's really like trying to follow. I'm not even gonna find this shit. I have no idea where it's at. But regardless, that's one thing that I would advise is just always kind of staying on your toes and finding opportunity for when you can invite the opportunity to be able to say like, hey, here's some fire shit, I got you. And also take this a step farther for like people that aren't even working with fucking famous artists. Even on your local level, say you're Dave before Dave was Dave shooting in Texas, or you're Ben before Ben was Ben shooting in Iowa, and I would go shoot a concert. I barely shot concerts, but actually I had a whole job where I did that for a living.
We watched some of those.
Yeah, you know. So say I'm shooting that concert, okay? Yeah. It's important for us to even get like, say, the local venue. Maybe they don't even have much of a following, right? But they tag Dave. Cool. They just tag Dave on their Instagram, posted it. Guess what? Another bar or venue may be following them and be like, damn, that shit is hard.
Facts.
Who did that? And then they hit you up, hey man, we saw you did this for whatever venue. Would you come do this for ours? And be like, yeah, this last venue paid me insert number, even though they might not have. And now you just parlayed that opportunity. So there's all kinds of ways that you can use this on different levels, I guess, as far as to like what this shit's at, because I know we're not all touring. And
yeah, because I want to go on a tangent, because I feel like you say we're not all touring, but I feel like there's another way too. Like, what do you think about this? You talked about the Groovy Tony series. There's people in the comments saying like, yo, whoever made this or whatever, right? But you, at the end or the beginning, I can remember, of each one, it said created by Ben Real vs. World, right? Yeah. And I think if let's say you're shooting music videos as a director, Matt Alonso talked about this, Andrew does this on his videos. They made it a thing early. Matt talked about this on the podcast. He made it a thing early where, cool, like I'm going to do it for this, but I'm putting my directed by Matt Alonso tag on there. And that became a thing, right? So then people watch this video like, oh, that's tight. Who directed this? Well, boom, there's the tag in the video, right? So they're like, that's another currency too. So it's like, if you can come up with a hard tag, you know, Gibson has a tag, Fucking everyone's got tags, or it doesn't have to
Dude,
be
even in the documentary world, like I had to like literally fight to make sure my co-editing credit would pop up at the front. You know what I mean? Like, yo, why is that not in the intro? Like that shit should be in the intro with everyone else. And then okay, cool, and they reworked it, but it was like, what the fuck? Because it would then I'd have to wait till the end, but everyone sees the opening, boom, 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 and no one really ever paying attention to that shit anyway. But like the people that care look, and it's like you want to be seen in that shit, so then someone else finds that and finds you. So if Andrew and Matt does that shit, now Dave can become a fan of Matt Alonso because he watched the Goblins video, or not Goblins video, whatever the Tyler in the game, you know what I mean? You watch that and you're like, oh, this shit's hard. It says Matt Alonso, and all you have to do is Google Matt Alonso,
and you find all this shit.
Spike
I think
Jones. I sat there and did that shit back home before it was easy to find stuff on Google because I'm old as fuck.
Yo, I think that, but that, like, it's almost interesting because it's like if you can get that in the video, because if they come at you and they're like, yo, take that tag off, then you have the discussion. But like, that's a way to get your name in the video. And like, let's say you can't get tagged, but your name's in the video. Like, it's the same thing as like, you know, be in the movie, right? Like you could say I worked in this movie, but then you literally show them like, look, here's my credit. Right. And they're like, oh, you worked on this movie because it's in the movie. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you can, like at the end, you always have to put a name or try to at least, but not every content requires you to put your name on it because you don't want to put your, it's like watermarks. People want to put watermarks on photos. And I won't ever do it because it's just taking your eye away from what I want you to see. And it's just like, I don't need to do that.
Yeah, I used to do it all the time.
But people, you know, some people need to do that. Kevin Wong, big people in, you know, press photography or whatever.
Well, especially for him because he's like shooting with so many different people. It's like so random, but you know, oh shit, there's a Kevin Wong photo. Even though it might be too distracting to look at, you know, some people might not like that. That's the only way he's ever going to get booked for shit if he's like, damn, oh, he just shot for this person's baby shower, but it's like it's like Amber Rose. You know what I mean? Like,
it's probably because he gives so many photos, he's doing so many events and giving so many photos to like out of his control where he has to because the photo can end up in someone else's hands and posted and they won't know it's him versus like a more direct connection where it's like you're giving it to this management group and only they're going to post it. So like, obviously it's yours or whatever, you know?
I had a conversation with, or not even really, I set it up to be a joke, but then he never responded. But it was like a kid that commented on one of my Instagram posts, and all my Instagram posts captions are always the like same layout. Like I've been doing that for fucking ever, right? I used to do tags on my shit. There was a little BR in the right hand corner, and it'd be like low opacity or whatever. So it was like
that one was hard though.
Subtle, subtle BR, and that would be like the tags at the end of my Q tours and all that shit. But I kind of left that behind after the tour, and so what I switched it to was like photo by me or video by me, right, in my captions. And the kid hit me and was like, yo, I don't really understand why you do that shit. Like clearly we know it's yours. It's your Instagram. Blah 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 blah. Right? Well, there's a fucking million fan pages for almost every artist that's out there at this point, right? And Instagram, the difference in the power behind Instagram, Twitter, Facebook is that shit is shareable. So for me, my theory when I do that is that if my shit gets shared because someone's cousin follows me and sent it to their uncle who loves photography or whatever the fucking case may be, he sees that and just gets it and doesn't just look like content right away. He's like, oh wait, whoever this person just randomly sent me this piece, I see that this person shot that shit, so they must have sent it to me because I'm interested in this, that's my hobby, blah blah blah, I'm gonna follow that person. And instantly that's how that works, right? Whereas before, if I just say like Thursdays on tour, and then someone gets that and it's just like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, no, you don't really understand it. Where I'm not ruining the photo anymore or ruining the video by adding some dumbass watermark on there. I took it off. Now it's in here. And then this dude's arguing with me, and I try to set him up to say it was like had something to do with my uncle and he died, and I wanted to.
No, but that's your thing. You do that, so that's what you do. Right. I mean, even like the first Beyonce video I posted on my page, I had to say video by me because, I could have easily, like, people didn't know what the fuck was up.
Well, so how many fan pages are there that post the exact same shit? So
it's like when I said that, people were like, oh shit, you're really on tour. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I left it behind kind of because, you know, just like that's the way I do my thing. But I think
even people would post our videos and edit them and then say video by me, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and someone's like, wow, you're so good. And it's like, it's hard to follow credit sources anymore these days. Like, it's just all over the place. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you should always value what your caption and the tags can do for you, and use that as an opportunity to like move yourself forward in what you do creating, right? Like, just fight for it. It's not worth like losing a job over, but at the same time, it's worth it because it doesn't take that fucking much for someone to do it. Like
No, you can be firm about it. Like,
You can.
you know what I mean? When you approach it like professionally, like, hey, this is a part of my contingency. Okay, cool. I'm booked for this. This is my rate. Also,
Yep.
you know, I require that I be tagged and credited in any video
Yeah.
any content that you use.
It's
Cool.
no different than an artist asking for their producer credit or their co-writing credit. Nothing like it needs to be valued the
Man,
same
it's
way.
honestly interesting to talk about that because we're talking about video tags like directed by or whatever. But you know, Murder Beats, Boy Wonder, all these people. Who else?
Yeah, no,
Zaytoven,
exactly.
all these guys. They have their tags in the song.
Yeah.
What's his name? The guy that did shit, I can't remember. Take Keith.
Oh, yeah.
He has the Drake tag, and
Yeah.
because he did the Travis song and the Drake song with the tag, he blew up.
Hell yeah.
Because
Take it.
yeah, and honestly, they do it the best because, and that's why I think if you can create a tag that's hard as fuck, like
People want to react to it.
people think like, yo, that tag was hard,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if you can come, because so many people do it corny, like everyone does, you know, glitches, whatever. I've done it in the past. I used to do glitch with my shit at the end. I thought it was cool. Now I'm not gonna do that. But like, there's
In your videos, you mean?
yeah, in the videos
Yeah.
at the end. But if you can make it where it's like it adds to the aesthetic of the video, and people are like, oh, that's tight, then they know it's you, then you're double winning.
Hell
I feel
yeah.
like it's the same thing as
Hell yeah.
a music producer tag, you know?
Yeah. So fight for your right to party, people. I
This
feel like
was
that's
cool.
good.
Yeah, we
it's
got a good episode.
Good little guy in here. Me and Dave are actually going to be MIA from the office for a couple days. It's 4th of July weekend, so he's got his girl flying in. I got to do some other shit for some jobs. So we're going to try to bang out a couple of these episodes today.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. This is my favorite thing that we do.
Morning roast is really fucking
It's
fun.
like my favorite thing that we do. If we only had to do this, it would be a tight job.
I love interviewing people, but these are so fucking chill. Like they're the chillest shit.
interviews are tight too. I had a great time of mine.
And I love the feedback you guys have been giving. I don't know if we said it in the last episode, but a lot of people gave us their takeaways from this last episode. So shout out to you for doing that. The intern episode was really cool. So if you're listening to this and you got anything out of this episode, please give us your takeaways in the YouTube comments. That'd be fucking
Yeah,
dope.
I actually got someone sent me one.
A takeaway?
She sent me like she wrote them out. It was
Caroline?
tight. Let me.
I know that one. I think it's her.
Yeah.
She's
Anyways, I
always
was
sending
like-
the most fire recaps of episodes.
I was like-
while Dave looks this up, you should pull it up. While Dave looks this up, damn, I don't even remember what I was going to talk about. Make sure to, I don't know, nothing. There's too much shit to promote all the time.
We released a guide.
Oh, we did do a guide. That's probably the most monumental thing we did. We spent weeks, literally weeks, creating a guide. Shout out to our boy Ian for designing the guide. He worked with us late at night several times from Texas, which was awesome, and killed the design. The guide is 54 pages long, and it is full of fucking gold, bro. Gold.
I can't find it, but anyways, you know who you are. If you send me like a full page, you did like 4 bullet points, and you wrote out like how you analyzed like what you learned. That's the shit I fucking love.
Yeah,
that's literally what I do.
Right.
On actual podcasts. So.
Yeah. Jot down takeaways all the time, even if you're not listening to our podcast. Jot down if you're listening to someone else's, because you're gonna learn a lot of shit.
Because you're listening to so much info in the podcast, right? And you're like, oh, I'll remember that. But then to go back and like write it down, you're like, okay, these are things I need to implement, or this is something I need to like try out. You know?
Right.
Cool.
But yeah, the guide, get it. Shop BWNC.com. It is $25, so you can get it there. Or if you want to get it plus a bunch of other perks and give our Patreon a shot, we give it to everyone at the goddamn homie tier. So patreon.com/BlackWithNoCream. You get the guide immediately, plus so many other perks. You get access to the Discord, the bonus podcast episode, live streams, all that shit. It's all there. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, for now, check it out. And that's it. We'll see you on Sunday. And then don't forget, Wednesday, we're announcing the winners and the new contest. So if you want to hear about that shit, do that. And we're going to give it to our Patreon people early. So if you want to get there. Okay. Bye.
Hey, Dave, you ready to get on my seat?
Yo, fuck you, B-Hags.
That's funny. All right, hold on.